And he very bluntly said, I don't need a healer for a girlfriend. And so I was like, okay. And so pretty much I knew the universe would be sending me back into orbit very soon. And so as I was driving home that morning, I wasn't really angry, but I was just talking out loud to my angels in the car. And I was just like, I am done with these guys that are attracted to me, and they like my magic and they like my power when they're first seeing me, but then they want to slowly start chiseling away at it and start causing me to doubt myself, or they want to slowly start controlling me. Done. Like, that is not going down anymore. I'd rather be alone than be with someone like that. So I'm saying this very loud in my car, and the whole universe was getting this message from Tanya. And so after I said what I was done with and I was ready to clear, I out loud said, thank you, universe, thank you, angels, for bringing me the one. I am ready for my twin flame. I am ready for the one who is here to support my soul mission, the one who's here who will love me and honor me for the unique being that I am and will not have a problem with that. And so I'm being very clear in all this. Well, I get home and I'm setting up for an event that night where I'm teaching at the gallery a workshop on the laws of attraction. And so I get there and I'm teaching my workshop, and Ron's there. He comes in and he was sent to close the gallery. So he's watching and listening to my presentation, and afterwards he came up to me. He was just like, wow, that was amazing. And he's like, are you hungry? I'm gonna go get something to eat. Would you like to come with? So I just think this is casual, like, friend thing, and I was like, sure. And so I go with him, and this happened right when that night I could have gone on a date with my ex-husband. He was still trying to get back with me, and I remember just thinking, I'm done with that direction, and I'm going to go in this direction, and not even like a dating thing, but just a choice of where I was going to spend my time. So I go on this, little dinner thing, and during it, very quickly, I start seeing how Ron's behaving, and I realize, oh, this is a date. Like, just the way he's acting, I can tell. And so I was just kind of watching him, like, that's very curious. Like, Ron Jones, huh? Like, let's see where this goes. And he comes over and we're talking, and he's just opening up this life story to me, and I'm listening to him. And then he says something to me, looks at me, he's like, Tanya, I feel like tonight, as I was watching you speak to every one of those people, and you were connecting so deeply with each one of them, I just feel like I saw you for the first time. And I was just like, what? Like, there was so many things that happened. Him and I coming together. We started dating pretty quickly after. I'd helped him with some art shows, and then we started dating. There was so many synchronistic events that happened, like where we went to look at some woman's art, and they chanted and played music, and I was just like, oh, do you want to play for us? And he normally would just go look at people's art and then leave. Well, because I was there, I was really tuning into them, and they ended up doing this live concert for us, serving us tea, and as we're sitting on the floor, I just felt, and so did he, like the universe was giving us this concert and was like bringing our energies together. And so synchronistic moments can be so amazing and magical. And the more we pay attention, this is the difference between we stubbornly go this direction to be with a certain person we want to date, no matter what it's showing us, no matter how much it's kicking our butt energetically, or we surrender and we trust and we feel the heart's guidance and we pay attention to the magical connection with this energy and this direction. And so it can be so amazing. And now I'm with my beloved. We've been together over a year, and we're the best of friends. But we laugh sometimes. We just think about, wow, like there was times I remember I went to hang some art, and he was there with his wife at the time, and I was there with my husband. We walked in, and we're hanging art. And he kept talking about how, isn't it awesome to be married? Don't you think it's so awesome to be married? And he kept talking about it. And I'm very empathic, so I was tuning into him. And I was just like, I didn't say anything, but I was like, what is he trying to convince himself of? Like, something's really off there. And why is he talking to me? Like, he kept looking at me and telling it to me. And so I left, and I remember telling my husband at the time, like, wasn't that kind of odd that he kept talking about how great it was to be married? Like, it was like he was trying to convince himself, like he's really sad and he's not really authentically happy. And my ex-husband was like, I don't know, I didn't pay attention, which is true. And so we get out of there, and I don't think of it that deeply that day, but now that I'm with Ron and I look back, I realize, oh my God, like you were talking to my soul, and I could feel him talking to it. I just didn't understand why he was. And there was like some part of me that felt a connection, but didn't know what I was supposed to do about it. And because it wasn't the right timing. So if you watch the movie Serendipity, it'll make sense. It's all about divine timing and really following those little breadcrumbs along the path until we reach our destination. And really, that's about what I love to call angel time. The universal time is really we're trusting and we're flowing and we're allowing. But when we're an ego mind, we think we control it all. It's our time. This is when it's going to happen. And if I don't get this internet show now, I'm going to just be miserable and I'm going to be angry, or I'm going to go make that show happen. And a lot of humans spend their lives like this, really making things happen, trying to force the timing, force it to go down. There was years that I was an actress, and I was working so hard to try to make it as an actress, and like I wanted to say something. I had made movies for the film festival, and I was working so hard to just get out there, but I didn't have that confidence or really know that I was worthy. So a lot of people weren't even paying me for the work I was doing. And recently I'm being approached by directors from my past. They're like, Tanya, I would like to do another movie with you. Are you interested? And I was like, what? And so you just got to let go and trust that when the timing's right, it's all going to flow. And if there is something that your soul's here to create and to be a part of, you're going to know it. You're going to feel it in your energy. You're going to feel that passion inside. And you just need to trust the flow. You need to trust the difference in the vibration of what it feels like to go against the stream, where you're just suffering, you're beating your head against the wall, and what it feels like to go with the flow. And that feels it's ease, it's grace, it feels good. So remember how last week I was talking about vibration? I cannot say that enough to each of you. Your vibration and your frequency is the magical ingredient to everything. Amnon manifesting that Jeep and the love of his life, it came from a vibrational alignment. He maybe didn't know that at the time. Maybe that logical, that part of the words weren't there, but part of him knew that's going to be mine one day. And he just held that focus, and he didn't get angry when it wasn't his. He's just like, that's going to be mine one day. And maybe some part of him was even like, that's going to be mine one day, and it's going to come to me at a great price. And then, boom, it did, right, Amnon?
Right, exactly.
See? Yes. And so it's really having that patience, and until you get what you want, you stay in a frequency of gratitude. You stay in a frequency of having. So instead of, I don't have that job yet, so I'm going to be pissed off at the job I'm at, or I don't have that relationship yet, so I'm going to be pissed off with the person I'm with. The best way you can get out of any energy or situation is to have gratitude for what you have, and then be open to the universal flow guiding you to where you really want to go next. And there's no need for resistance. There's no need for suffering and violence and anger. No need. But many of us think that. We think if we're going to have to leave something, we got to have a really good reason for it, or we got to go and, create a bunch of tension before we have permission to free ourselves from something. And that's not true. And as we really honor the flow of life, we're going to thrive. Like, my life, I'm thriving so much since I really understood. Like, I teach workshops on manifestation, and I have one coming up actually soon. And these workshops, they used to be like, there was nuggets I understood, and I was really passionate about it, and there was a lot of things that I would do that would work, but it wasn't working consistently, and it would frustrate me. I'd be like, okay, so I made a vision board, I'm saying positive affirmations, I'm doing all these things, and sometimes it happens like, woo, what I wanted just showed up, yay, and then, okay, something didn't show up, dang it, why isn't that showing up? I need that to show up. And so I did not get that I was the one creating that disruption, and now I understand it. So now my passion is to help every human on the planet that wants to understand how to manifest to really get that it comes to your vibration and your frequency. If you don't have that dream job yet, don't be angry. Just be grateful for the job you have. Be grateful for the money that's coming in, and just be eager and excited for that job that you desire, and trust that, you know what, someday that's going to be my job. One day I'm going to be making $1 million an episode, and I'm going to be doing amazing work with that money across the planet. Right now, maybe that I'm just getting this like trickling of clients that come in, and right now maybe that, I'm working over at the gym and I'm making this much per hour, but I'm grateful for that. But one day I'm going to be having this experience that's going to shift. So you don't get angry at the fact that you're not there yet. You're grateful for where you are, and like at a cellular level, that you are exactly where you're meant to be right now. Each one of you watching, even if you're in a bad relationship or in a job you can't stand, your body is sick, it's not thriving, you are exactly where your soul intended to be. If you can understand that right now, you'll let go of the resistance of that. So much of our resistance comes from trying not to even be now where we are. Like, we try to resist the now. It does not serve you. So know that you are exactly where you intended to be, and that you are learning exactly what you need to learn to get you where you are wanting to be. So, like, a good example is me being on this internet show with Amnon. Amnon and I are both getting practice of what this is like, and we're in the now, and we're spontaneous, and we're learning to work together. And this is the practicing side of, okay, I'd like to have my own show, and it's here. Now, I've been putting out rockets of desire, and I think Amnon has too, of where we would like to go and create a shift. And so the more we hold that frequency and vibration, it's coming, and it's going to be here someday. But right now, we're grateful for what is, and we realize that this is our opportunity to practice. It's like when I teach yoga to the yoga girls, I teach teacher trainings, and when they first start, they have so much honor towards teachers, because it's one thing to do yoga, and it is another thing to teach yoga. It is another thing to express in words and to guide and lead a room full of people. And they learn that very quickly, and it's very humbling. But it helps them to realize that, today I'm just on this mat and I'm practicing. I'm here and I'm cultivating my strength and my connection with spirit. I'm cultivating greater strength with my body and my mind's focus. And one day I will be preparing myself for a journey to step in to the role of teacher or leader. And that's not something you want to force to happen. You really want to honor where you are, and you want to arrive and trust that it's all fun and play and practice. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Is anybody writing in today? Or are they all just like already on their vacations for the 4th of July?
I guess they are. I have no idea where they are. But the last comment that Kathy put in the chat was say, you betcha. I guess that's about how she feels.
Awesome.
She's answering.
So she's saying, you betcha I love being with that man. That's a good comment.
I hope so.
Amnon's like, please, baby. Okay, so I'm going to read a page from Getting Into the Vortex. I have encouraged every client that I have to get this book. It is the teachings, it's with Esther and Jerry Hicks, and it's the teachings of Abram. I have to say, before I even discovered this, I understood so much of this consciousness, which makes sense, because when you're channeling angels and ascended masters, it's higher consciousness. And these books are one of the highest and most aligned books that I have witnessed to this day, written on energy and vibration and helping you with laws of attraction, with manifesting. So, like, I'll teach my kids this stuff. I'll explain to them, when you're angry, you're complaining that you don't have enough hours, and you're complaining that you don't like working here or there. it's really not helping you. And I help them to understand their vibration and their frequency is what matters most. Imagine if we taught this stuff in schools, like this is really the stuff that we should be aware of from early childhood, because children get it. They are amazing at manifesting. They want that red bike for Christmas, and they just know it's coming, and they have no concept of economy or how much money's in the bank account or any kind of limiting thought at all.